the friendliness of the people here, which you've demonstrated so eloquently today, the beauty of the land that I have seen around us as we flew in on the helicopter, always makes me glad to return to what is Will Rogers' country. But this is the first time I've had a chance to go one up on that great cowboy philosopher. You know, with him, and all of us who remember reading him out in Los Angeles, he had a little column, as he did all over the country, and it was must-reading for everybody, even in those days. The joke was usually, for Will Rogers, on the government. One time in 1923, he was spoofing the Congress about its public works spending. And he made his point by saying that all that money being passed out, that he could probably even get himself a harbor built on the Verdigris River at Ulaga. I think that's the way you pronounce it. I practiced it on the way out on the airplane. Well, this magnificent new port is still a few miles downstream from Ulaga. But it's close enough that this time the Corps of Engineers and the people of the supposedly landlocked Sooner State can have the last laugh. For years, there were many who dismissed the idea of an Arkansas River waterway as a foolish dream. But there were others, men like Senator Bob Kerr and John McClellan, who held it as a bold and achievable vision. The completed project that we dedicate today has proved that they were right. The navigation system, the new maritime states of Oklahoma and Arkansas, can look forward to a whole new era of growth and development. And so too can Kansas, which may one day have ports of its own on the Arkansas, and Colorado, and all of the other states of this heartland region that will be sharing in the benefits of this waterway. At the same time, speaking as and representing all of the people of the United States, as President of the United States, I can say that all the American people join you in celebrating this achievement because it belongs to all of us. We think, for instance, of the two-way savings water transportation is already beginning to bring the farm industry in this region. Lower shipping costs coming in mean that the farmer pays less for his fertilizer, machinery, and other supplies. And lower shipping costs going out mean that the farmer can pocket more of the market price of his crops and livestock. And that way, farm income is boosted twice, and the benefits extend across America and around the world to everyone who depends on the beef and the wheat, the cotton, the soybeans, all the other products of mid-America's agriculture. I believe that what is good for the farmer is good for his customers and good for America, and this project proves it. That's one big reason we're grateful to see this waterway go into operation. As we assess the significance, we think too about the tremendously important oil and natural gas resources that have meant so much to the growth of Oklahoma and the industrial development of this country. We think about the major coal fields that will now become much more accessible along the Arkansas River in these two states. And I realize there's legitimate concern about some of the serious environmental and pollution problems surrounding the production and use of coal and oil. But we must also remember that the energy they produce is indispensable to the economic strength of the United States and to the good life which the American people enjoy. As this new waterway encourages growth and development, regional energy needs will increase even faster than the rapidly growing national needs. And this will mean new opportunities and new challenges for petroleum and for coal, which are produced in this region. I can assure you, as I indicated in the special message on energy policy, which I sent to the Congress yesterday, that the federal government will continue to recognize and support the vital role which these industries play. But beyond agriculture, beyond oil, we are already seeing the first stages of a broad-based economic boom in the Arkansas River Basin. All sorts of new industries are on the way, bringing with them new jobs, new income, new vitality for communities throughout this region. Private investment planned along the waterway has passed the $800 million mark and should soon exceed the $1,200 million in public funds spent in construction of the project. You realize that over this next 30 years, this region in which we're now standing could absorb as much as 10% of that growth. In other words, 7 million more people. This region can become a new magnet for people seeking the good life, so that we can begin to see a reversal of the decades-long migration trend from rural America to urban America, a trend which has too often acted to deplete the countryside and overburden the cities, to weaken the heart of America, and to add to the fat which saps our strength. There's virtually unlimited promise in the future of the Arkansas Basin, provided we take charge of the development process and guide it wisely. We know all too well that heedless and unplanned growth can become a bane rather than a blessing. That's why there's so much interest, particularly among younger people, about the environment. What's going to happen to our rivers? What's going to happen to our countryside if we simply have growth without planning? Questions are even being raised, going to an extreme. They say, why should we have growth at all? I understand the feelings that raise those questions, and yet I think that they come sometimes and perhaps most often from people in regions that already have had their share, or more than their share, of American prosperity. In this region, and looking at this project from an environmental standpoint, we can be grateful and proud that this river system today remains largely unpolluted when we look at it in comparison to others. And right now, as we dedicate this project, with industrial development along the waterway really beginning to take off, let us determine to hold the line on a clean and healthy river. The dedication of this McClellan-Kerr Arkansas River navigation system is an exceptional monument, a monument in action. It honors many things. It honors the leadership of the two senators whose name it bears. It honors the leadership of the congressmen like Page Belcher, senators like Henry Bellman and others who have also worked for this project. It honors the vision of many leaders of this region who are not in the Congress, in the Senate, or the House. The constructive partnership of economic development with environmental protection. And this is a monument to American engineering and technological skill. When I think of all the events that have taken place in the world in the quarter century since Speaker Albert and I were first elected to that 80th Congress, I realize what a momentous time in history this has been. That doubles my pride in sharing with him and all the others on this platform and all of those in this great audience the dedication of this magnificent project. A project which was only a bold dream when we came to Congress 25 years ago, but now it's a grand reality. And for generations to come, it will be a living monument to what man and nature together can accomplish.